On today's show, Angie gets upset over a wig and Jane meets the dark side. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. So glad you're here.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and you on your earth journey. That's why we focus on dreams, because that's what they're about. If you want to know what you're meant to be doing at this very moment in your life, then look no further than your dreams. Through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you what superpowers you have, what would make you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way. They are the way. To get your dream analyzed on our show, go to dream-analysis.com/podcast and fill in the form there, or simply email radioshow@dream-analysis.com, just like the people on today's show have done. That's all you have to do. Okay, I thought I would start with this. Here we go, Sandy.
All righty, I'm looking forward to what you have to say.
80% of us come here to heal, to the earth plane. The other 20% come to develop a trait, maybe patience, love, joy, confidence, etc. That can be connected to healing, but it is a little different. Healing works on the earth plane because in this dense vibration, we can see the part our subconscious plays in holding us down. And we can then do something to heal that programming. Our parents simply play a role that allows us to transfer an existing issue to the earth plane. That is us to transfer our existing issue. Many people then go through life blaming their parents for their poor start. But people only do that because they have no idea why they are here. It is possible for you to relive most of your negative moments in your life in a positive frame of mind. When healing happens, that is exactly what you will do. So what is the difference between a situation when you feel dragged down by someone else's actions or comments, and later in life, after healing, when the same situation doesn't trigger you? Can you see what is different? Anybody? The answer is you. It is you that is different, and only you. That should ring a huge bell. It's always about you. You have the power. You always have the power. And if you're shouting at the radio right now, you have a little further to walk than the person who is nodding their head with understanding. Let's take an extreme example. What about people who were abused, people who were raped? First, you have to take your mindset out of the past. You cannot change the past. You have no power in the past. You never will. Get the picture. You have to learn to look at the present, at now, where you have power, the only place that you have power, and take action now. What you do now can heal you of the imbalance that is linked to you experiencing a violation. Healing the imbalance ensures it can never happen again. I help people heal childhood traumas. I see the growth people experience from healing those traumas, and every single trauma is connected to an energetic imbalance. Abuse and rape is always connected to a masculine energy imbalance. That in turn is caused by not feeling supported by dad in your early days, very early days, maybe even before you were born, while still in the womb. It can only happen when this is the case. I've helped countless women heal this specific imbalance and bring joy back into their lives. I tell you, my life review is going to be really good.
Let's hope so, Michael.
The imbalance behind any individual issue is ultimately easy to understand. Your dreams reveal the imbalance and how it shows up negatively in your life today. They scream the solution at you. But do you listen? That's an honest question. Do you listen to your dreams? In your life review, you will see all the help that was sent your way, and you will clearly see all the help that you refused. It is not an I told you so type of experience. It is a compassionate review of your life so you fully understand where you were successful and where you fell short. What did you learn about love, if that was your mission? Did you heal and grow, if that was your mission? Your life is about you. Your review is about you. And even when others are brought into your review, it is about your impact on them. It is still about you. Now, you still might need cold water splashed on your face because you're still focused on others. A common one I hear is, what about starving children in poor countries? As if that is a gotcha. Well, that is something I did cover directly on a previous show, but here what you have to realize is that there is no amount of shoving your head into the past or shoving your head up other people's lives that makes the spirit world say, okay, Trevor, you win. You don't have to work on yourself. We award you the gift of stagnation. Fix your life. Realize just how powerful you are. Do what it takes, even if it is just to make sure you don't ever have to come back here again. Do it. You've nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain. Sandy, do we have any dreams?
Wow, Michael, that was very interesting. I love how you did that. And that reminds me of a story that you told me the other day. What exactly were you saying? I'm not sure I understood.
Well, the main point I made, you never have to include the protagonist of your issues in your healing journey. Ever, 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 ever. There is never a case where it's like, oh, thank God, I can finally move forward because my dad understands how much of a jerk he was, or my mom understands how much he did. If it was dependent on anybody else, you could never grow. You'd be following people, throwing rose petals at them, saying, please, please, please do something because I need to grow. Our parents play the protagonist. They're not the real protagonist. They allow us bring an issue that we already had. When we get our life review, and even in the planning stage of our life, we are so grateful that the parents who are going to give us the issues that we have are willing to do it for us, because that's how important it is for us to come here and heal the issue. And then we get here and then we blame them for the issue. It's a complete waste of time. If you're ever doing it, stop. You have to stop and realize that is still giving your power to your parents, completely giving your power to your parents. It's all about you getting your power back, you understanding that you're sovereign, you're empowered, you are the one that can take the action. Again, take it now. Don't keep looking at the past. That's what a lot of people do. They look at the past or they look at other people's lives. But what's more important for you, and the only thing that's important for you, is where's your growth? What are you going to do for yourself? Work on your own stuff. When you've healed all your issues, then save the rest of the planet.
Wow, that's excellent. All righty, Michael. Do we have any upcoming courses? I'm excited because I believe we do.
Well, you know we do. We start our new mentorship class this Sunday, June 16th at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. That is by far our best class. People on the other side of that course, it's a 9.5 months long. They are changed. They are very changed, and they are so grateful for having stepped into the program and done it with us. And we also have channeling that's coming up August 4th.
Yes.
We will talk about that later on. That's probably our more popular course. A lot of people want to learn to channel. And in fact, we will talk about that later on, because we do have a dream that's about channeling, if we get to it. We don't always get to every single dream. What I love about the show is we never know what dreams we're going to get and what we're going to talk about. That's why we love what we do. Let's see some dreams.
I'm real excited to get started on these dreams. So let's dive in. The first one is Sabotage by Jane. I'm in a bright but crowded storage warehouse. My ex is there. I break up with him for the second time. I did actually break up twice in real life. He is mad, and as he leaves, he does something to sabotage the freight doors to the warehouse that we are in. Now I'm outside and I cannot get the freight door open. And I realize that he took all the sparkling water, so I can't get any. Then I'm in a shower. I just finished, but my towel is on the other side of a cluttered room and there's a man there. I think it's my ex. I ask him to bring me my towel and he doesn't. There's a second man who I asked to bring me my towel. He is my current partner. And then he says yes, but then never does it. So finally, I walk and get it myself, and I'm irritated because I'm cold. My partner stops me as I cross the room, and I show him I have goosebumps. Well, that's an interesting dream there, Michael.
Yeah, it is. All right. I don't know if I'd be looking at the goosebumps on a naked woman, but maybe that's just me. Anyway. All right. So the dream, it's a very simple dream. When she sent me this one, I was like, oh, okay. And it stood out to her. It wasn't her normal type of dream. So Jane sent it, I read it, and I was like, oh, okay, you're infiltrated. So I checked that, channeled on it, she was. And she knows how to clear herself, so she did it. And so how it shows up in the dream is the fact that there's somebody there that shouldn't be, like the ex that she split up with. and he's not being helpful, and he's kind of sabotaging something. Now here, the sabotage is to do with her career. She works in the spiritual field, and so she's infiltrated, and the infiltrator's trying to mess with her spiritual career, let's say. Any questions on it, or do you want to just move on to the next one and we can talk about how it's much more obvious in the next dream that she said? So she sent the first one, and it took me a couple of days to get the text and look at it. And then I've said, oh, you're infiltrated. And she sent me this second one.
Yeah, but Michael, I have so many questions, like crowded storage warehouse.
Yeah.
And then
so the warehouse.
Second time breaking up.
So the freight door. So it's, I had dreams like this myself where there was cargo containers in it, and it was all about riding, a dream about riding and how I was holding up my riding, and there was cargo containers in it. And so a freight door here is going to be somebody's connection to the spirit world and connected to, let's say, the service they're going to deliver to other people. But that's being sabotaged. So it's like her business is being sabotaged by her being infiltrated.
Okay, so she can't get the door open. And then what about the sparkling water?
Yeah, so sparkling water, perfect. So water represents the spirit world. We cover that in so many dreams. So the sparkling water is like, I have an effervescent connection with the spirit world, or even just think of the sparkling, the light is reflecting and all that sort of stuff. So it's like, I have this connection to the spirit world that is really sparkling, and it's been taken away from me by this infiltrator.
And then the shower, but it's a cluttered room here and then a crowded storage warehouse. So, and there's a man here again.
Yeah, the man is the infiltrator. And
Gotcha.
so the shower here is something she needs to clear. She needs to do something to cleanse this issue. Now, why is it the X? Well, it's quite simple. We don't just get infiltrated. We get infiltrated because something in our past or some issue that we have now connected to an issue in the past is kind of like the open door that allows us to get this infiltration. And ultimately we can heal the issue. And then that infiltration mechanism is gone forever. Sometimes we need to look at past lives. We need to look at various other things. And they're all about how those things affect us in the present. So we're doing the healing in the present, even though people will say, I'm healing a past life and I'm healing this. We're actually healing the effects of it now. And once we heal the effects of it now, then those doors close. So issues with her ex, or feelings that are the same as issues with her ex. Maybe she had a run-in with the ex because she has shared kids with the ex and so on. Those things are something like that cropping up in her life today. Could have been the trigger to bring her down that caused her to be open to being infiltrated. And
then the goosebumps?
Well, that's her annoyance. So we know, like, she's shown the goosebumps because she's saying, look, I'm cold. Like you didn't help me at all. So that feeling in the dream is going to be connected to what she needs to avoid in order to avoid getting infiltrated again.
That's very good. Okay, now we'll do the second dream. This is titled The Dark Side, and it's also from Jane. All the top brass of the dark side were in a round room. They had one arm raised towards the center as they materialized and were having a cocktail party. One of them recognized me and said he remembered last time he met me, he was going to break my jaw. So I tried to somehow overpower him with my phone, which didn't work. So when I was shown me energetically wrapping him in love, which completely disarmed him. I like that.
All right. So when we were talking about being infiltrated recently, you were saying, how come people who are trance channels can get infiltrated? Do you remember that? And
yeah, we did have that conversation. How do they get infiltrated? And then does it impact when spirit comes through and talk to them? Because you would think spirit would clear out the infiltrator if they're talking through you.
Why would they do that?
Well, I don't know.
That's like,
I would think that they're a high energy. So they're coming into you with high energy. I would think the infiltrator would like, I can't take this. I'm leaving.
They're only coming as far as they need to come in order to be able to talk through you.
Gotcha.
When you're clearing somebody from an infiltration, what angels do, if you watch angels clear somebody, they just beam so much love into the back of your heart chakra and they just fill your whole body up with love. And that's what causes infiltrators to leave. Now, I mean, think about it though. They create an incredible space of love. So in a loving way, they are pushing the infiltrator out. And they say, I'll bring you to the light. Most infiltrators don't want to go, but they don't like that love. They can't take the high energy of the love. So love is a high energy. But when a spirit or an angel is channeling with you, they're not doing that. They are just connecting to maybe your crown chakra or your throat chakra, but they're connecting in some way in order to be able to communicate through you. Now, it's different if you're a normal channel, but a trance channel, I understand what you're saying. It's a stronger connection. But yeah, you can be infiltrated for years and years and years and still be a very good trance channel. It doesn't have to mean anything. Of course, you're going to be better if you're clear. So it's really a good habit. And we teach everybody in our classes, like, here's what you start. These are the steps. I say, I give a document out, and I jokingly say it's the Ashland School Defense Against the Dark Arts. But it's the list of things, steps you can take that I have discovered over the years that are super, super effective. And sometimes I find new steps and I add them to it. And other times I find I can replace these 3 steps with this 1 step. And I update it. I update it all the time. I've probably updated it twice this year so far. And everybody who's ever done any of our classes gets the update. But you really should check yourself every single time you go to channel to see what is your connection like? Is there anything inhibiting the connection? And are you infiltrated? And if you're infiltrated, clear yourself. And don't be worried about the fact that you can get infiltrated. Everybody can get infiltrated. Although I do know some people that it's almost impossible for it to happen to them, Sandy included. But those people, they generally are really high energy workers. And they would notice straight away. Be like, if they got infiltrated, they'd be like, I noticed 1 millisecond ago, I felt much better than I feel right now. Something's up. Mm-hmm. But again, you don't take it as anything negative that happens. You just take care of it.
Right. Very good. Thank you, Michael, for clarifying. That was an interesting dream. And so somehow overpowering him with his phone didn't work. What does that mean?
So initially,
is that
it's
back
like
to the channeling?
This is what you asked. Surely, if I just make a connection, I will be clear. And that's what the phone is about. If I make a connection up to my angels, I'll be clear. Didn't work.
That was my question.
It was your question. But look how it is. It's like the top brass of the dark side. How bad is that? And they're having a cocktail party, recognized me and said, hey, I'm going to get you. I'm going to break your jaw. So it's like, I'm going to stop you being able to communicate, which is the same as blocking the freight door in the previous dream. It's nasty. And this is how it sometimes shows up. They can be pretty nasty, and it's obvious what they're about. And then what does she do? She clears them with love in the end, which is what I said the angels will do. That's always how they're going to do it. I've never seen any other way that they do it. Like, there's no need. It's the top thing. So anyway, cool dreams.
That was cool. Alrighty, we're going to go on. The next one is titled Choir, and it's from Angie. It's nice and short. Inside a building, there was a lot going on. A group of girls singing in choir, which I watched. They seemed a bit unhappy and critical of one another. A few did, not all. Something about teaching material, being around, and me trying to organize or declutter. And that's the dream.
I like the organizing and decluttering at the end. That's really good. So this is about channeling as well, a group of girls singing in a choir. So group is about teaching. So the dreamer has a spiritual leadership ability. She also has an ability to teach channeling. So this is going to be in her future. And I've said this to her a long time ago. Hasn't shown up yet, but it's coming. And so she's still working on improving her channeling, let's say, because in this dream, we know it's channeling because it's singing. And then we see some people are unhappy and critical of one another. So this is about her being critical of her channeling ability. And I didn't really need to push hard on that button. It was like an instant. Yeah, well, it's not great. It's not this. And that's not true. Her channeling's amazing. But then we see something about teaching materials being around. So she is going to teach this. She's going to get so good at channeling that she's going to teach. You know, I think it's a bit like how I ended up in the position I'm in. It was never a goal, never set it out to be, hey, you know, I'm going to do a radio show about this, or I'm going to teach classes about this. I had such an interest in dreams that I threw myself into that. The more I could learn, the better I felt. And I just kept doing that and doing that and doing that. And then suddenly somewhere along the way, you become really good at it. And then you become an expert at it. It's not like the original goal. So this is what's going to happen to her. She's going to become so proficient at channeling and enjoy it so much that she's going to get to the space of being able to teach it.
Wow, that's awesome. Good, because in the future, I think you're going to need some help there, Michael.
Yes.
Okay, and so her next dream is upset over wig. And once again, it's from Angie. I remember a woman being upset because Michael said she couldn't wear a wig. She was eating, and she just wanted to wear a wig to celebrate. Today in real life is May the 4th be with you. I love that. The celebration was something lighthearted and silly like that. I was walking towards the back as she said that. That's her dream.
Okay.
Nice and short, Michael.
It is. And so a wig is like false hair, fake hair. Usually it's a different color as well. Maybe it's blonde. Typically in dreams, it would be blonde. So it would be about pretending to be something other than you are. And I'm in the dream. I'm in the dreamer's dream. So it's like, okay. But I'm saying you can't wear the wig. So in other words, you need to be who you are. And in this case, it's going to be like, be who you are around your kids, be who you are around your partners and so on. A lot of people, when they get into the spiritual field, they're like, oh, I realize now the impact I had on my children. That's a terrible thing. What I did was terrible. And we blow things way out of proportion. And even though I say, look, we do to our kids, we mess them up in the way that we're meant to do it. And I'm not talking big stuff. But yeah, we knock their confidence. Whatever it is we happen to do, we don't show them love the way they think they need it, and so on. And people punish themselves over this. And so sometimes we will try pretend to be a certain way, like I'm loving, I'm understanding, I'm compassionate, I'm whatever. And it doesn't matter. You get no brownie points for the sham. Just be yourself. If you're vindictive, be vindictive. If you're angry, be angry. If you're whatever it is, be that way. Because you need to be the way you are in order to actually do something about being the way you are. But I just like the dream because it's lovely and short, and it led me talk about wigs.
That's great. Next, Michael, we have a letter, and so I'm going to read parts of it and let you add some comments. So this is from Mary, and she titles it, Hi, Michael and Sandy. Oh, hi. Thank you so much for the recent event you organized. All your work is very inspiring. Last week, I tried to connect to my higher self and my angels using the tips from the event, and nothing happened. But at night, I had the following dream. So I'll let you comment first before we go into the dream, Michael.
What I wanted to say there was, first off, the tips were for people who are already channels at that event. And like I said, they are part of our defense against the dark arts that we give to students on our channeling courses. So if you're already a channel, those tips that I gave out during the event would make you a much better channel. It's part of the clearing steps or precursor to the clearing steps. So it'll only work if you're channel. But let's continue on.
All righty, so this is her dream. I met a female friend from school. We were speaking about spiritual subjects. She channeled a few times. I was very surprised. And as soon as I saw her do it again, I said, You can channel? It feels that everyone can do it except me. She replied, You will be able to channel as well. I've heard that many times. When is it going to happen? I asked her, but she did not answer.
So we see the connection issue here. I asked a question, but I didn't get an answer. And we know it's a guide in the dream or somebody playing a guide because she's speaking with authority and saying, you're going to be able to channel. So we know that she does have the ability, but something's blocking it.
Next part of the dream. It was suggested to me to clean a surface covered with hair and see if that would make any difference. I did it using a dustpan. I cleaned it. Nothing happened.
Okay, this is your block, part of your block. Fix your diet in order to clean your system. And when your system is clearer, it'll help with your channeling.
Hold on. Where did you get diet out of that? Nowhere do I see food.
What's a dustpan?
Oh, that's for cleaning the floor.
And the floor is?
Diet.
Well, it's the elimination system. But when the elimination system shows up in a dream, it's because your diet is terrible.
Gotcha.
I nearly said a word that had a pun. And so fix your diet. It heals your elimination system. That boosts your energy, which you need in order to connect and channel.
Oh, very good. Next part. Then my mom, maybe dad was there too, said I was going to call the driver who caused this. It felt like she was blaming him for something. I said to her, "Why are you doing this? It's been ages since that happened." She called him, but he did not pick up the phone. Another channeling reference there.
Exactly. Notice a call with no answer, just like at the start. So this connects the channeling block to parents. Mom blaming dad, let's say, because that's what we see in the dream. Mom is blaming dad for something. So I suspect her actual issue is to do with masculine energy because of other dreams that she sent into the show. But mom's not not faultless in all of this.
More of the dream. I said, if I was him, I would not pick up the phone either. Mom said, "Look at yourself." I pointed in the far distance and said, "How about her? She was badly affected too." There was a girl, 10 to 15 years old, maybe. Her parents were next to her. She put one of her hands up. It looked like she was struggling to get some of her fingers to move freely, like they were being pulled by something. Very interesting there, Michael.
So that's the end of the dream. And the issue that needs to be cleared is between ages 10 and 15, because we see that called out in the dream. We see the girl is struggling at this point in the dream. So she's struggling. This is her struggling. We know the dream is about channeling. So she is struggling to get detail in her channeling. That's what the fingers are about. And we can see the link here to what I said at the start of the show. In fact, that's why I started writing that piece. Fix the imbalance that is an obstacle to your channeling. That's what it's about. And in fact, the first 5 weeks of our channeling program are dedicated to exactly that. It's all healing. Week after week, bam, 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 bam. Okay, now you're ready for your first lesson in channeling. And guess what? Everybody channels in the first lesson because of all that healing. But Sandy, we have run out of time.
Yeah, that was really cool, Michael. I liked how you tied all this together. Thank you for doing that.
All right, everybody. See you all next week.
Have a good week. Bye.